If you're looking to double or triple your production without pounding the phones and without sacrificing your work-life balance, stay tuned for what we have in store for you. Whether you're a seasoned life agent or fairly new, the secret to unlocking massive growth is through the rule of 5. Before we begin, have you ever wondered why only a few agents reach the goal of massive passive income? Did you know that less than 1% of life and health agents actually achieve this? My promise to you is after learning the rule of 5, you'll have tangible tools that, if applied correctly, can create massive growth in your business. This is the same system that has catapulted me to a 7-figure agency within my first year and over $5 million in less than 4 years. These same fundamentals have been used by hundreds of my agents, and soon you'll learn them too. So for the last 20 years, I've applied the rule of 5 in multiple industries, and the results have always been consistent. Back in my ad tech days, for those of you that don't know what ad tech is, ad tech refers to the technology behind advertising. Okay, so everything now, if you think about it, is programmatic. Advertising is based on big data. Think Moneyball. By the way, that's a great movie, and I highly recommend that you watch it regardless if you're a sports fan or not. The premise behind the movie is the key to the rule of 5. Basically, we're no longer blind. We have data to back up our decisions. So I've applied the same principles, the rule of 5, which allowed me to grow sales of multiple startup ad tech companies. One that comes to mind had virtually zero revenue, and I grew it to $28 million in revenue within 18 months. I consulted for an international game development company that was stagnant and couldn't grow. After applying the same techniques found in this training, they went from $130,000 in monthly revenue to over $550,000 in monthly revenue. That's 5-time growth factor in less than 4 weeks. See, here's the real problem. The industry is old and antiquated. If you think about it for a second, it took literally a pandemic to create radical change in this 200-year-old industry. So check this out. The information age has literally transformed every industry. Think real estate. You have Zillow and you have Redfin, right? Think travel agencies. They've been replaced by these behemoths called Priceline, Travelocity, Booking.com. The list goes on and on. Needless to say, if you have not reached the height of success yet, it's not your fault. How could it be? Look, the lead-based life insurance business is literally stuck in the dark ages. To add insult to injury, most insurance marketing organizations sell you leads that have been resold time and time again with no source of origin. Could you imagine that for a second? I've had agents tell me that the leads were so awful that most didn't have a real phone, not even an address, and still they had to pay full price without a refund. I mean, look, it gets worse. I've seen agents from other insurance marketing organizations selling and replacing their own policies, cannibalizing their organization. Think about that for a second. You buy a lead, that the same lead gets resold to another agent within your organization for the opportunity to be literally sold from under you. What do you think that does to you? It does to the actual client a complete disservice. So as you can clearly see, multiple factors are working against you. So why is this important for you to view this video? If you're not changing with the times and not adapting and implementing, it's not a matter of if, rather a matter of when you'll get left behind. I recall a short time ago, I had my very own agents holding out on me and not adopting. The ones that jumped in and applied the rule of 5 saw amazing success right away. These are what we call early adopters, and their numbers have perpetually continued to grow. Whereas the other agents that were just starting to figure it out, that adopted it later, their growth have been dismal to say the least. Think of it as a tectonic shift in the way you're currently doing business. The best example I can give you is analog versus digital. Yes, analog works, but compared to digital, let's break it down. Rotary phone versus iPhone, there's no comparison. So stay tuned on how I'm going to show you how the rule of 5, when applied correctly, can change your life. Hey everyone. Now you may be thinking, Frank, this sounds great. I would love to see the results, but there's a couple of things with my personal situation that are different, whether it's family or you're wondering about your resources. And sure, this is personal for everyone, and I want to meet you exactly where you're at. So go ahead and click the button below to schedule a one-on-one free strategy session with myself or my team. Go ahead and do that now. Back to the video. My name is Frank Brennis from the Insurance Mastery System, the creator of the Rule of 5. I was a U.S. Marine from 1994 to 97. After my service, I spent 20 years in ad tech developing systems to generate revenue for online and mobile apps. I've built apps and systems internationally and scaled startups to over millions of dollars in a short period of time. I've been featured on Forbes on a gig economy app and had several books on growth marketing hacks. I've successfully developed the first agent enabling technology for lead-based life agents. So why am I telling you all this? Simply to let you know I had zero experience in the lead-based life insurance field. In 2018, life happened, and as an aspiring vice president, my company merged and my position got dissolved. In other words, I was out of a job. With no luck in sight for employment, I found the life insurance business. As I see it, you have an uphill battle as an agent. You have not seen results for various factors. Factors that come to mind are low quality leads, no system automating appointments, no direction and no clarity, and no system-driven income. As mentioned to you earlier, you're functioning in an analog world where your customers are digital, old versus new. So here it is, introducing the Rule of 5. So step number 1 is genuine mentorship. You need someone that has been successful and that can show you how to get where you need to go. Think about the role of a coach for a second. A coach is in the trenches with you, pushing you and giving you direction to achieve your objectives. Same with a business mentor. Now, not all mentors are equal. Think about that. If you think about the greatest basketball player to ever play, arguably is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had a coach. His coach was Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson was a player's coach. He himself won 2 titles back in his days playing for the New York Knicks, 1970 and 1973. You see, Phil Jackson walked the talk, and as such, he garnered the respect of the players and staff. He was credible. He had been there and done that. This is the same Phil Jackson that would later go on to win 5 titles during Shaq and Kobe era of the Lakers. Before Jordan, Kobe, or Shaq could reach any level of greatness, they needed a leader that could give them direction and clarity. Phil Jackson didn't do the work for them, but he orchestrated and provided them vision to reach greatness. Same could be said for a mentor. That is their role and purpose, to see past your shortcomings and devise a plan to get you where you need to be. Number 2, predictable leads. High quality leads that can be verified as being legitimate. Moreover, we're talking about leads that follow this important acronym, MACHO: married, assets, children, homeowners. Simply put, the market matters regarding leads. Lean in on this for a second. Imagine you have a lead that genuinely sought you out and fits that acronym. Do you think your possibilities of doing business with this person is higher than those outside of that market? Guys, let's use common sense here. If a prospect that has been verified through a text message with a code or with a direct mail piece that has been filled out entirely and is looking for more information on your product, do you think you have a greater chance of closing them? The answer is obvious. Again, let's follow that logic and not deviate from it. Leads are one thing, but the quality of the lead and the market is everything. Number 3, appointments through automation. Would you agree that the way we communicate has evolved? Did you know that less than 10% of people, prospects in your case, pick up the phone from a strange number? What's worse is the carriers are making this harder every day. Depending on the carrier, if an inbound call comes in and it's not part of your contacts, it may be flagged as spam. The days of dial and till are simply analog. Back in my ad tech days, I was in charge of a sales staff of about 15 reps. They would prospect by cold calling, emailing these game developers. Keep in mind, at the time, pay per download was the business model, but we had to convince them that the advertising model was far more profitable. Our job was to find these game developers, make contact, and get them to install our software. At best, they would send out 20 emails per day to get about a 10% response rate, not a bad rate. They would try the best subject to hook them to elicit some type of response, but what if we could automate that process? What if we can reach out to a qualified list of game developers on autopilot? Would the ratios still hold true? So I immediately implemented automation and the results were mind-blowing. Here's what I learned. Anything repetitive and mundane could be automated. Why is this important? More time for sales reps, in your case agents, to be in front of clients perfecting the pitch and the close. Does that make sense? Have you ever said, I wish I could only clone myself. If just one person was exactly like me, I'd be 2 times more efficient. Well, welcome to that reality. With agent enabling technology, you can now free up all the repetitive and mundane tasks by leveraging a system that's reaching out while you're not. That brings me to these important points: work-life balance and lead resolution. Now that you're using this agent enabling technology, you can work on the prospects that have shown interest and are engaged. Might I remind you of what it looked like in the past? Stacks of leads with no time to dial. Also, lead resolution. By leveraging this technology, you can afford to work on older leads that never got back to you, or even prospects that said, I need to think about it. Remember how that goes? Yes, well now lean into the system to do it for you. No shows, not a problem. Let the system do the heavy lifting while you talk to those that are engaged now. And then the fourth point is instant approval products. We live in a world of now, so this begs the question, why do you expect your clients to be different? You need to have access to products that you'll know instantly if they're approved and issued right away. Imagine this, in less than 10 minutes, having a client protected and a policy issued directly to their email. Yes, that's doable. No lab work, no blood work, no exams. What's best, imagine up to $1 million for 50 and below instantly. All over virtual when you're in the comfort of your home. Welcome to today. And fifth and last of the rule of 5 is duplication. This part is key. Once you've applied and had success, share it. Here's why. You're essentially in the distribution business. You give back to agents, you help them grow, you earn an override income, passive income. This is the part that I rave about. Where else can you coach, teach, and train while leveraging a system and still earning income? As you find other committed agents, your income grows by duplicating and helping others. What if you pay it forward by investing back into those agents that are out there producing every day, co-piloting in their success? What if they maintain a certain level of excellence that you can reinvest back into them? What about having a system where your main job is just to traffic cop them to the correct training for them to learn? To learn more about this co-piloting program that's exclusive to Insurance Mastery, click the link to schedule a one-on-one session with me now. So let's recap. Number 1, mentorship. Number 2, predictable leads. Number 3, appointments through automation. And number 4, instant approval products. And number 5, duplication. So where does this leave you now? Number 1, do nothing. Or 2, you can go at it alone. Or you can accelerate your growth now. If you want to grow your business to over 7 figures plus, we may be able to help. All you have to do is click the link below to book a call. Again, if you're an agent that's had some success but are completely bogged down by circumstances, book a call now. All I'm looking for is a few good people that are committed and coachable. This plan is laid out and will change your life if applied. Click on and schedule a call with me right now. You have the opportunity to beat the old you. The old you is stuck in the status quo and the analog way of doing business. Think for a second what your life would look like if nothing changed in the next 6 to 12 months. What if you were to take action? What if the system really worked as described? But to be honest, I'm only looking to help a few agents that are serious about living the 1% lifestyle. I'm looking to mentor those. Go ahead and book a call now. Are you working in the dark ages or are you up to speed? The choice is yours. Book a call to talk to me now.